One thing that I think we can really agree about is whatever Dream is planning to do, just he's gonna do it whatever the cost, and he's gonna throw all ethics out the window.
How do we know that it works?
We don't.
Well, then it's useless.
Not if we can test it.
But that would mean killing someone.
If it does work, though.
Dream, we can't just go around killing people. Someone's gonna notice.
Well, what about someone old? We can just, like, say it was an accident or something.
Can we just get an F in the chat for Vik and Lazar? I mean...
Yes! You can absolutely get an F from me.
But I mean, this puts into question the fact that, if they've been dead since before Dream was imprisoned, Ghostbur mentioned when he tried to get revived that he saw 2 other people down there. So we thought that to mean there were only 2 other people in the afterlife.
Well,
clearly that's not true.
You gotta keep in mind that what we saw wasn't actually 2 people dying forever, but dying again and again. So they're test subjects, basically.
Basically, just canon.
Because you don't want to make death too cheap.
Yeah. Like on the server itself, like out of canon, out of character. But I think I am sure though that like Vik and Laserbeam are definitely dead, just because Pons said like, oh yeah, we're gonna if we kill them, like they have to stay dead.
Need to stay dead forever. Yeah.
Yeah. So he didn't say it for like no reason. So
I don't know. I'm just trying to think about it, considering they weren't actually in limbo.
Well, Laserbeam once again killed by a Twitch streamer.
So considering they were not in limbo,
I don't think Limbo's like vast, and like Rambu describes it as bubbles, right? So it's possible that their bubbles just floated away and weren't able to be seen.
Like the way that I describe how everything works is like it's like one giant ball that you just don't know what to do with. So you just kind of mush it around and see what works. And occasionally the 2 mush sides will come together. And I think that's what happened. I don't know though. I really don't understand any of this. It's all really confusing. But all I know is that I'm no longer stressed and I'm great. I'm great.
I mean, at the end of the day, Tommy was able to see Schlatt and Wilbur and probably Mexican Dream, but Wilbur wasn't able to actually see others than just Tommy. So maybe some people can see each other and some cannot.
Yeah, it's really ambiguous what Limbo actually is or looks like.
Well, if it works, then no one even has to die.
What? They would tell people. Look, if we kill them, they'd have to stay dead, even if it worked.
Yeah, good luck with that. There's not a single person that would go unnoticed.
And then I'll revive you, and then I'll kill you again, and then I'll revive you, and then I'll kill you again, and then I'll revive you.
No, you won't.
Again.
No, you fucking won't.
Don't hit me.
That's one other thing that, like, Dream says to Tommy, for example, oh, I'm gonna kill you and revive you again, and kill you and revive you again. Now we know
he's done it.
He's fully capable of doing it.
Yeah, we know that. But the thing,
he still hasn't done it to Tommy, which
I don't know why.
We theorized that he didn't do it maybe because he didn't have the book, or maybe because like everything wasn't ready or something. And
here it is.
Hi AJ. Hi Star.
Hi Star.
Finally made it.
Hello.
Oh, I've been dying to talk to people, dear lord.
Oh yeah, no, this is super whack.
Yeah.
Oh, finally.
Hey, hi.
Okay, so can I just go over a few things that I've just been thinking of since last night, and also one thing I noticed with the lore video. So first I'll go with the one.
Happens, Star. Go ahead.
All right, so the one thing I noticed is if this lore video takes place before prison, which is most likely, then the whole map is a plot hole because it has Tommy's hotel, and the Bamboo Hotel, and overgrown La Crater. So
wait. I'm checking the map.
The map. What? Wait.
Yeah, it's a plot hole.
Dream!
He probably couldn't get an earlier version of the map. They probably just couldn't get an earlier version.
Wait, what is overgrown?
The
crater.
manhole.
The manhole, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that also means it could take place after the...
Well, no, if it here's the thing. If it takes place after prison, after Dream's time in prison, then they would already know that the revive book works because of Tommy.
Yeah.
So there would be no reason to test with Vik and Lazar.
Then it is an error.
Yeah,
That's fine though. We can't blame them for not having earlier versions of the maps.
Yeah. Especially since they did just update. Might cause some problems.
Yeah. True,
Yeah. Although Eret's map in the museum stayed.
Yeah, but it would be difficult to like break in and put it there.
Yeah, it would be a lot of work to take it down and put it somewhere else.
And also another thing with the video is that we basically have full confirmation at this point that Ranboo blew up the TNT that trapped Tommy. Thank you, Dream. Thank you. We can end this argument now.
You can see the lit TNT is sitting on an obsidian surface. Ranboo is the one who lit the TNT, trapped Tommy in the prison. Thank you for the confirmation.
Thank you, Dream.
Wanting that for freaking ever.
It's possible he didn't, though.
Yeah, AJ is saying that like it's heavily implied, but it's possible he didn't.
True, heavily implied.
It would actually say yes, Ranboo did it. Yes, we don't know for sure.
Okay, the overlay had an invisible person, but it was over Ranboo with the dream smile in the chat. Indicating Enderwalk and showing someone invisible over Ranboo basically says, hey, Ranboo is this invisible person. That's the way that storytelling works.
Yes, but they have let us
True, they have let us astray before, but still, like, this is just, like, I can't help but think that this is outright confirmation.
Yeah.
Because speaking as someone who's tried to make her own roleplay, perspective with camera work and everything, it does matter a lot for what you choose to highlight and focus on. What matters and what doesn't when it comes to roleplay.
Oh, that's one of the first things that they teach you when you learn like filmmaking and cinematography is focusing on a subject, pulling focus, directing the audience attention to the main thing that's on the screen. That's where you want your audience to look, and that's where you want your audience to get your clues from.
They go through that a lot in animation as well, especially considering you have as much control. And in this case, this is almost animation because they could take as many takes on this as they want. This doesn't fall into the true category of live roleplay. This falls far more into a lot of, as someone else said, Quackity's videos, where if you need multiple takes, you can take multiple takes. And until what happens is what you want to see. So, because the whole point of this video was to be like a lore release and a lore dump. So I think that's why that's likely confirming it, because the point of this is not to lead people around and make them assume things. This is to answer questions. But I do want to know what is this happening metaphorically.
And he's also mentioned it's a recap, so this is not to set up anything new. This is to cover loose ends.
If he had these test subjects, we know that Dream knew about the concept of Limbo. As AJ just brought up, Dream probably knows what Vik and what Vik and
here's the thing.
Lazar's Limbos are.
And here's the thing. I don't think they would have said anything because they would have been afraid, knowing that Dream was reviving them and killing them repeatedly. Like, I don't think Dream would have given them a chance to speak.
They could have
not know that for sure, I think.
True. But there's no way we can really know. There's no way we can really know if Dream knew about Limbo prior.
I feel like we just have to keep in mind that Dream might have gotten a lot of information about Limbo. He might have not, but he might have got a lot of information from Vik and Lazar about how it works, about how the afterlife works, and all of that. He might have not, but we just have to keep in mind that
I think
that
this
is
also just proves
possible.
the idea that you need to kill the ghost to bring someone back.
Do you? Oh yeah.
Because I know there's no proof that there was a ghost Tommy that Dream killed that brought him back, but there's nothing saying there wasn't.
Yeah, because a lot of people on Reddit specifically I've seen have realized that Ghost Tommy could have just been trapped in the prison. That's why we never saw him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we didn't see any ghost Vik or ghost.
Yeah, exactly. We never saw
you don't need a
their
ghost.
or anything.
I mean, it was an edit. It was
but they
edited.
could have easily just revived them very quickly, and so there would be no reason to show like a ghost Vik or ghost Lazar in the video.
Yeah, I was saying that we just have to really keep in mind that Dream might know the most about Limbo out of everyone because he didn't always see like one Limbo.
If Dream knows about Limbos and he knows about Vik and Lazar's Limbo, that means he knows the Limbos are different.
Oh yeah, I mean, if he if he did get information from Lazar and Vik, which he might have not, but if he did, that means he had like full knowledge about Limbo. Probably we can just assume that.
No, not really, because Limbo is really personal. It really.
True.
Yeah, there's no way that he can really know everything about Limbo. He can only know everything about certain individuals' Limbo.
He knows about it.
But the more Limbos you learn about, the more pieces you can put together about the overall
plan.
Yeah,
exactly.
So that might actually be why he wanted to know what Tommy's Limbo was so bad, because he wanted to be able to add another data point to the analysis, effectively.
Maybe the whole purpose of this is just Dream trying to figure out what Limbo is. Maybe that's what Dream is trying to do. Or maybe that's like just his main thing. I don't know. But
yeah, it might just be a side project.
I don't think so, because then he would have killed Tommy more. And
I mean, this doesn't matter. I guess
Tommy gave him what he wanted first time.
But I mean, I don't know.
And he left Tommy in there for a while, so maybe he learned his lesson after Vik and Lazar.
Yeah, probably. But I don't know.
I
feel like if Limbo was really his main interest, he would have asked it.
What was what like?
What was it like? I don't know.
Wait, void. It was dark. It was all dark. What's the sounds?
It was dark.
Yeah.
Were others there?
Yeah. There was Schlatt. There was Schlatt. There was Mexican
you saw
Dream.
Schlatt. You talked to Schlatt? How's Schlatt doing? What happened? Tommy, no one has ever been dead and been back. I honestly, I was kind of scared it wouldn't work, but
you were scared. You were scared it wouldn't work. Why did you?
I want to know. It's interesting. Like I feel like maybe we could. Okay, what if now that you know, like we could send you back and you could like, you know, figure out.
No. Stop it. You're too powerful. You're too powerful. You're too powerful. Dream, burn the book. Burn the book.
Tommy,
please.
How do you think I got the book in here? I don't have the book, right? What I do have is knowledge from the book. And I can't burn that. I can't. It's impossible. So actually, forever. You know, it stuck with me, right? So maybe I'll bring Wilbur back. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll send you back and bring you back again, you know, get some knowledge. I want to figure out. I want to know how it works. I want to know about death. You know, we can study it. We can study it together. We can become immortal together by studying it.